Friends, family, and followers, happy Galentine's Day, and welcome to another episode of SHeCOMMERCE, where power women and real talk collide in the CPG world. Oh yeah, Cristina, we have actually gone over a year.
And yes, we crossed the year threshold because we started in November 2025, but that's all semantics. It counts. I'll allow it.
Thank you. So today's guest, we are so excited about. So let's see how we can tease her in. I mean, what happens when a powerful leader takes on a legacy giant and says, we're not just playing catch up, we're rewriting the rules? Our next guest has done exactly that. She's navigated brand complexity. She's championed bold bets in e-commerce and turned impossible into industry case studies.
Yes, we're excited to have her. But before we get to all that, let's see what's going on in your life. How was your Galentine's balance? Do you celebrate that in the UK, or how does that does it show up differently?
We
much
do.
of a Hallmark holiday?
Well, it used to be more Hallmarky before the kids and the never-ending renovation project, and life. We had it was a family Valentine's that we had. So after I told my husband, no cards, no presents, he went and got me a card and a present. So of course I was scrambling on Saturday. I was like, oh yeah, I had this whole time. And we had
whenever your wife or girlfriend or partner says, don't buy me anything for this, that actually means the opposite. Like you better buy something for this.
No.
Yeah.
I'm really simple. What you see is what you get, and I say what I mean. So when
bonus points for him,
he did get bonus points. They were my favorite chocolates. And we had a wonderful Valentine's Day dinner with the kids too. And they loved it because, steak. Who doesn't love steak? I mean, apart from vegans and vegetarians.
I guess a vegetarian, but yeah.
What about you?
Steak. Yeah, no, same. We had a family Valentine's. We, with the three girls, we make a big deal. So we do this Galentine's Day gala where we started a couple years ago and decorate the basement. We put on music. I give them a ticket. They come down. They get dressed up, and we have a little party, and their friends come over. So we did that. We did one of my big scavenger hunts in the house for prizes, and it was really fun. It was nice family time.
Oh, that's so gorgeous. That's gorgeous. So we both had great time celebrating Galentine's and Valentine's. Let's move on to the tea. Spill some, Cristina.
All right. Well, let's start with some people moves. I want to say congratulations to Katie Williams. She's been elected the Chief Marketing Officer at the J.M. Smucker Company, reporting to none other than Mark Smucker himself.
And this one matters. This one matters because it's not just a title change. Smucker is basically saying marketing is a growth engine, not a support function.
Mm-hmm. And she's a power hitter, right? She comes from some serious pedigree, her brand building mileage. She was recently US CMO at Haleon, previously marketing leadership across other big brand environments like GSK, some that are very familiar to us and our audience. So she is coming well prepared for this role.
Completely. And shout out to the transition moment. She's succeeding Gail Hollander, who has been credited with building up their marketing capabilities. And that continuity, it matters.
Absolutely. Yeah. So congratulations to both of them, Gail, on her next chapter, and Katie stepping into this legacy portfolio. I think it's a big move. It's its own kind of pressure cooker, and obviously a fun playground within CPG if you are driving that modern relevance, which we know she will. So congrats.
Absolutely. And we love seeing women take the top marketing seat in companies where marketing is truly tied to enterprise value. That's the she in SHeCOMMERCE. Now, in CPG news, I feel like I need a swivel chair so I can do that swivel thing, that newscasters do.
Yes. Hey, I'll do it for you right now. We turn to.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. Amazon has just hit $213.4 billion in revenues, 12 to 14% year-on-year increase, which is great. Those are big numbers. Well done, Amazon. But here's my boom piece of news. Walmart has hit the 1 trillion market cap. I mean, not gonna lie, I don't even know how many zeros that is. How many zeros is a trillion?
Say it count.
Yeah, exactly. And they have now joined that elitist of elite groups, a Magnificent Seven.
Yes.
You know, Apple, Nvidia, Meta, Alphabet, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, obviously. Just wow. Oh, and by the way, I have to say, I still love reading the news about what's happening with all the with everything going on in CPG. That nugget
Yes.
I actually got from our friend Danny Silverman's weekly e-commerce newsletter. Love reading that. Love it. I mean,
Yes, we
also,
do.
and his hot takes. His hot takes are great.
And
Oh,
such a big
and
supporter. We appreciate the love.
huge supporter. And to continue on the oh my god moments, because this week all about the moments.
Yes.
Mrinal Sharma resigned. Who is Mrinal Sharma, you say? I'll tell you, Cristina. He is a chief safety officer at Anthropic. He resigned.
Yeah. That's something.
Yeah. He is quitting to pursue poetry and writing amidst warning that AI is perilous and we're going down this dark tunnel. And oh my goodness, there's so much conflict and woe. And this follows Zoe Hitzig from ChatGPT or OpenAI, who resigned because of the inclusion of ads. She also was into poetry. What do you think about that, Cristina?
I also dabble a little bit in poetry, Jackie. I don't know if you knew that about me, but like an onion peeling my my many layers here. But I have one for you in honor of Valentine's Day. Roses are red, violets spring bloom. SHeCOMMERCE turns ideas into power that moves rooms. See, I'm a poet. You didn't even know it.
God, Shakespeare would love that. Love it. That
No, but
segues neatly.
news is shocking, Jackie. I think, well, one, it's really telling. Just a person resigning in an organization, it just leads to more questions and them using the word peril, right? And yeah, it's very alarmist in a way. But I think also just looking at the Super Bowl ads that ran, right, and Thrap just coming after OpenAI, right? No mercy, not subtle. What do you think about those ads?
They pulled zero punches, right? They were like, facts, deal with it. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the, you know, and the numbers after they dropped those little truth bombs, I mean, they skyrocketed, right? You had Anthropic Claude rather jumped to 7th place from 4 on the US App Store. And that's 32% uptick for US downloads and 15% for international downloads. And Super Bowl, Super Bowl is significantly Americans. For 15% international, wow.
That's huge. Yeah. I mean, I did download it after that too, but I really liked their ads. I thought they were very relatable. They weren't trying to over explain how AI works. They were just trying to basically build that trust with the audience. And I think, we're at a precipice where they put a stake in the ground to say, hey, we're not going to monetize in this way. And obviously OpenAI is already testing that. And I think it's just really interesting to see what happens in a world where we know consumers are feeling the fatigue. They don't like to be disrupted. And now for that to invade your personal answer engine, right? How is that going to land? Like who wins this war?
Watch this space,
I don't know.
I think.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, if chat does become that new interface for people, right? For shopping, product where you discover products, where you plan parties, your meals, whatever, everything. I think it will come down to trust, right? And trust will predict the influence. So if conversational AI becomes that new decision layer for people, the first stop, what happens when ads enter? And CPG and organizations need to understand then if you're going to be in retail media, we're very used to paying for placements, right? But in AI, what's a placement? It's really influence, it's perception. So it's not just media anymore. It's like you're engineering this whole perception and influence and trust, essentially. It's interesting. We have to keep a close eye on it.
I think I think you said it best when we were talking about the Super Bowl ads that we put out in terms of, our favorites on LinkedIn. Trust is the differentiator, and
Yeah.
building and holding on to that trust. That's what's going to differentiate Claude and Anthropic from, everybody else on the market who's jumping on the ads bandwagon. But also, let's remember that Sam Altman said we won't go to ads until it becomes a last resort. I guess this was his last resort.
Yeah. I mean, listen, AI computing, it's expensive. The revenue has to come from somewhere. It's what makes the world go around, right? You got bills to pay, as we know. Yeah, we'll see. I guess it's gotten there.
And this brings us neatly into the introduction to today's guest. Today's guest doesn't just play in the CPG big leagues. She rewrites the rules. Nicole Lesinski is the kind of leader who makes you rethink what's possible when grit meets strategy. From navigating global complexity at Nestlé to championing bold moves in e-commerce and retail media, Nicole has turned challenges into case studies for resilience and innovation. She's not here to talk buzzwords. She's here to spill the tea on what it really takes to lead transformation in a legacy giant, build allies who move mountains, and win when the odds say, don't even try. Nicole, welcome to SHeCOMMERCE.
Thank you. So honored to be here.
I love the intros, Nicole. Doesn't it make you feel like you can walk on the stage?
Makes me feel really good. Makes me feel really good about myself. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll just send you that clip, and every time you go into a meeting, you can just play that and then walk in the room.
It's like my walk-up song. Yep.
You need that with like some big band energy, like some real major music going on behind.
Well, we're gonna get to that. But
I'm in it. I love it, guys.
Nicole, we're gonna dive straight in. We're gonna start with your career and kind of industry insights. When you think about the evolution of retail media and e-commerce, obviously, what's the boldest bet Nestlé has made, and how did you champion that internally?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of bold bets that we've made over the last couple of years, and definitely through COVID, I think that accelerated our risk taking and our bold decision making skills. But we've gone through a couple rough years with business results, and I think everyone in CPG is kind of in the same boat, right, Cristina? And it's been interesting to see how the organization evolves through that. So we've done some really big reorgs in the past couple of years to set ourselves up for success. And now we're truly designed as a category focused organization. So truly putting the consumer in the category first is our number one mindset at Nestlé. And our organization is designed as that. So we now have divisions across the board. So we're under the Nestlé USA umbrella, but we folded our sales teams into division or category focused roles. And so I'm now dedicated to our frozen division out of Cleveland, Ohio. We have a waters division, a global culinary kitchen division, frozen, and then coffee and beverage. So merging our creamers and Starbucks business together. And I think this lets us be this truly focused organization on that category. So we're experts in that category through and through. And then we're experts with our retail partners as well on who we're representing. But I think that was a really bold move because traditionally we've carried the Nestlé USA bag, wall to wall. You're saying I call on every business, every SKU. I represent that for Total Noosa. And that's really hard to do from a customer lens. And you may even have multiple customers too. So I think it's working. It's really bold. We've also then kind of merged in or transformed our e-commerce groups and our shopper marketing groups. And we're truly trying to make it more universal so that an account manager that's calling on a Kroger truly knows omni and is calling on the consumer end to end. So we're rolling that into or folding that into like the day-to-day for our field team so that they understand e-commerce and they understand the shopper in a new way. This is fairly new, a year-ish, and then we've kind of transformed again in the last couple of months. But I will say the focus on e-com and omni and total commerce has been remarkable. Like we've seen such a change in ownership, advocacy, and just accountability across the board. So I think that's like one of the most recent bold moves that we've had, but really just driving towards that digital structure. And what's that look like? Like truly representing total commerce to our retail partners and making sure we're the thought leaders in that space.
Yeah, I think a lot of our listeners are in that journey, right? Which takes time. It's an evolution, right? It is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And as you've done that, you know, I love some of the things you've talked about. Consumer category first, that's music to our ears, right? Omni-channel, more holistic end-to-end focus. What were some of the challenges that maybe nearly broke your playbook? And maybe you're still in the thick of that. Like, how did you think about those challenges? You know, what allies maybe did you rally and turn it into a win? Or how are you trying to overcome them?
Yeah, I think we're kind of still in that, Cristina. Like, you know, breaking the playbook and focusing on total omni instead of, or just the consumer first, is a mindset shift and a behavior shift for us at Nestlé. We know in-store very, very well. We've got that down, like, right? Check mark. Yep. It's this unknown space for people where they're stretching their mind and their behavior to go elsewhere. And that's the education and the narrative piece that my team kind of helps lay out for the organization. But I think that's the shift. I have to think about total commerce or the total path to purchase now, not just in-store. And it's always been this like finger pointing of like, oh, well, they do e-com or they do shopper marketing. We really need to look at our funds too of this total commercial spend. Like we all don't have money trees in the backyard of where we could just say, hey, you know, Uncle Nestlé, I need $1 million, right? It's where is our dollar, right? Wouldn't that be nice? But like, where is our dollar best spent and how am I going to get the highest return? And we are really looking at it as a generating demand function. And so it's really that mindset shift, Cristina. It's like, it's a behavior change, but I will say like the leadership changes that I've seen over the last year, our leadership teams are fantastic. Obviously, a lot of them have more of the background in brick and mortar than e-commerce, but we're truly creating the right relationships with our e-commerce partners. And then we are educating internally, even from the highest levels. Like they are leaning in to understand and to know, and they want to understand. Whereas in the past, that really hasn't been a thing at Nestlé. It's always been brick and mortar. How do I drive more units across the register? So it's very interesting of like the leadership team and how they're taking ownership, true ownership, and then cascading that. And that's really important when you're trying to build a new muscle, right? E-com, retail media, all of that is ever evolving, changing every minute. We're always learning new things. Like we could say we're experts in the business, but we're going to learn something new tomorrow, right? And so it's all about how I bring that back internally and make sure I have the advocates internally at the highest level so that mindset and behavior is cascading across the organization. So I've truly had that commitment from our leadership team, and that's been very refreshing in the last couple of months.
And maybe I can just ask one follow-up question on that. Like, it's so interesting because I think having those advocates and cascading from leadership down, right? Like walking the talk is so important in these like mind shift changes. And it's not easy, to your point.
No.
So, you know, what were maybe some of those like early proof points or things that happened that you're like, okay, I see the ship is starting to turn, right? Like the tides are changing. Yeah. This is working. We got to press on. Anything like that, just to, I know a lot of people are listening and they're like, oh, we're doing the same thing, but like it can get frustrating, right? Like it takes time. So anything that you saw that kept you going? Like, you know, there's an element of storytelling here too. That does help, right? Like my team truly is the champion of the business, and we will shout from the rooftops on how important e-commerce and retail media is to our business. But the number one thing is growth. And so the tide started to change when e-commerce is the only avenue of growth for Nestlé, right? And I think that's happening across the board at a lot of like legacy CPGs. And so that believability has shifted. And so now we're thinking from the highest levels all the way down, you know, it's, oh, e-com is truly a thing and it's not going anywhere.
sure, we've been telling you that, but now the proof is in the pudding, right? Like you can see that the growth is here. And, the question or believability on data, we've debunked all of that, right? We have great reporting, great resources, great retail partners, great retail media networks that we're really like scorecarding with, and it's all about measurement and proving it. So it's that storytelling though, and taking those campaigns or taking the growth strategy, coming back into the brands too, and showcasing like your dollars are working hard for you. And we think the investment needs to increase or decrease, right? It's making those recommendations, but it's all based on insights and data. And that's where the storytelling comes in, and then you have to share and cascade. So I think that's where, the narrative has changed in the last year or so. And I think we're getting more believers internally, which has been fantastic to see.
Amazing. There were two things you said that really resonated with me, Nicole. The first one was it's a new muscle and we have to keep flexing it or working it. And it immediately reminded me of the gym. It's one of these long-term strategies, right? In the sense,
Yeah.
or long-term actions that you have to do. You're not going to tone up or you're not going to build muscle after one day at the gym. I mean,
Correct.
but it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have to work so hard.
Oh, completely. But
it's genetics.
But here it's the hard yards, and Nestlé's putting in the hard yards, and it's the hard yards and showing up every day and doing it and honing. And that ties in really well with storytelling. I mean, who doesn't love a story, a really good story? That's what hooks you in. We're all kids at heart, and it's that story, it's that hook of a good story that really brings you in, that compels you, that makes you think, that makes you believe, yes, this is right. This is the way to do it. This is the story that I'm going to remember, that I'm going to think about, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Right? But it also, that aside, my question on this, with everything that you have done, you and the team have done, is what advice would you give to women coming up in e-commerce who want to lead those bold transformations? To your point, feel that weight of legacy.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's like, there's something about persistence in here. Like that's the umbrella to it all. We take a lot of these personality tests. I'm sure you guys have done it too. One of our models at Nestlé that we use, I'm a persister. And I think it fits my personality just right. I always am backing up my beliefs, my values, my morals. And I'm very much so like that at work in the right way. When you have an opinion, truly state that. Be yourself, be confident. That's, I feel like, gone a long way for women that I work with. And I've seen at the highest levels of role models that I have in the industry. But persistence always is that overlying for me of like, okay, I know I'm going to be persistent. Why? And am I going to deliver it in the right way? So it's always like, making sure your delivery is spot on too, but the confidence of being yourself needs to be true at all times. And as you grow in your career, right, you understand yourself a little differently. You've sought out wisdom from others. You've noticed yourself and had self-awareness in situations where you're going to improve. And soliciting that feedback from others is also very important. Or even just your peer set of like, how did I come across in that meeting? Did I come in too hot? I ask my team that all the time. Did I come in too hot? And they're like, no, it was spicy enough, right? But there's always that persistence that I love to like have that fire in my belly. But I always go with my gut or my instinct and trust your gut. I tell my kids this too. I'm like, trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, it's not the right decision. Right. And I think we often as women, we get a lot of opinions. We seek opinions and we make sure that we're asking others, oh, well, do you think I'm okay? Or do you think I did this right? Or just truly deliver it and own it. And then just like you said this, Cristina, before, like I was going to like walking the talk is like what I say all the time to my team, because someone is always watching you. So be a role model. whether you know it or not, someone is looking up to you. And so someone told, that was something that I did. Like, I have so many women, female leaders that are role models in my life, whether at work, in the industry, or outside of work. And they're role models, and they're giving back, right? They're making sure they're mentors in spaces, or they're on boards. And it's always a good reminder in the back of your head, like, walk the talk, because someone's always watching you and looking up to you. So I always try to live by that. But yeah, I mean, it's rough out there. Like, it really is. And you guys know this, like, it's, being a mom, a female leader, it's a lot, and you can do it all. You just have to manage it well, and really be present in everything that you're doing.
Yeah, no, I love that. As you said, I'm a persister. I was like, when the Survivor comes on, like, I feel like you have a remix to make.
No, Cristina, no, I can see it. I can see she's gearing up for a song.
It's playing in my head. I know, but I mean, so many good things there, like trust your gut, someone you always want to leave, like, walk the talk, like, leave behind a good impression. And, I always say, like, treat others how you'd want to be treated. And how would you feel if this happened, right? It's like golden rule. And I think it's so important. And like the art and the science of business, like, I feel like we chase data so much and we look for that 100% certainty, but then, you have to, there's a part of it that's your gut. You can only get so far. You got to make the decision, commit, and move forward. And
that's really what, like, holds us back too. Big organizations, we're moving a big ship, right? We got a lot of opinions, a lot of cooks in the kitchen. And for some areas of the business, that's fine, that works. But we have to be risk takers and make decisions faster. And so that's also good advice in general, is like, you're going to have failure, accept it, move on, take the risk, because the journey may not be easy getting there, but the risk that you took could be the absolute reward that you were looking for. And so that decision making, the agility, the speed has to be there in everything we do. And that's why I said, like, seeking all these opinions to make sure that you feel supported in something may not always be, the journey to get there. It may just be trusting your gut.
So I'm hearing seek forgiveness, not permission.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's me in a nutshell. I always tell my team that. I go, guys, I'm not asking for permission. Yeah, we're going to do it.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we're coming up to our signature question phase of the conversation. And of course, as you know, at SHeCOMMERCE, we don't think it's just business; it's personal too. So, what's the most important, or what's the most personal lesson your career has taught you about power and resilience and impact?
Yeah, I love the word resilience. I tell my kids this all the time. I'm like, they all three of them play hockey. I love to tell, like, my son broke his elbow last season. This season, he broke his hand. And I told him, I said, Vincent, you're so resilient. He's like, what's that mean, Mom? And right, I explained it to him. And now that's a buzzword for us. And I think it's a buzzword throughout any career journey, is how you showed up different. How did you work through significant challenges and barriers in your career, or just in your personal life? And it always teaches you a lesson. And I think, like, throughout any career, being a male, female, doesn't matter, but especially being a woman in this industry, you're always benchmarking yourself, right? When I turn 30, they're going to respect me more. When I turn 40, I'm going to do this, right? And everyone's at their own point in their career, and you have to accept that. But it always is just truly being yourself. Be yourself, show up as yourself every single day, and people will respect you for that. You're going to have your own leadership style, and that ebbs and flows of your career too. And you're tailoring that style to the folks that are reporting you. And I've learned that over the course of my career. Did I think when I was younger, I was probably like, oh, I know everything, right? Like, I know everything. I'm going to be, this or that. Well, man, life really teaches you a lesson when you get into these situations and how rewarding people leadership can be. It is truly the number one reward in my career is leading people and, creating that culture and climate that your team represents every single day. That's like a true honor. Like I truly believe that I put my people first all of the time. But like, it's always just staying present, adapting to your new ways of working or style, seeking feedback is very important for me. And just being honest and transparent with each other. Like there's no sugarcoating in my world ever. My team knows that I'm going to tell them directly. And they know where they stand. And I'm the same way with our customers and our retailers too, but that's what builds really transparent, good relationships. And everything we do in business is all about relationships. It's a very easy, simple thing. Just be a good human, right? Yeah. And that's like how you see success too, is treating people with respect. So it's fun journey. I love what I do. I learn something new every day, but of course, always adapting to new styles, new ways of working. It's always a new lesson every single day on how to do that.
The uniquely you, authentically you. We love that. I think transparency wins hands down.
I agree.
People eventually see through when it's not genuine. And you are a very authentic person, Nicole, and that's why we love that you're here sharing this with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to go back to the music because I always do. But what's your power song? Like when you're getting ready to go up on stage or going into a major, sales meeting or negotiation, what's that like hype song that's running in your head?
Yeah, I'm not sure they would be able to play my hype songs at our sales meetings because of all the bad words. But you know it, like any sales meeting, it's like all I do is win is like always that song. And we always place bets and crack up. We're like, okay, how many times are we going to hear this at the sales meeting? But yeah, I don't think they could play my songs, but I love like pumping up to rap. So Notorious B.I.G., Juicy is one of my jams. And anything Kendrick Lamar, I'm in. But it's funny. I like earlier in my career, I would like drive to appointments and like put something on and be like, and I would have like this superstition of like drinking a venti Starbucks. I got the same order. I'd listen to the same song, but it was more of like jock jams, like pump up music from like when we were young. And I'm like, what am I doing? But I did have this routine and it worked and it was all here. But yeah, I do love a good pump up rap song.
And adding it to our playlist.
Love it. And my kids though, they're like, Mom, this is so bad. Or Mom, can I put a song on? And like,
don't you love schooling the kids on like old school,
like
hip hop? And
they like listen to music and they're like, have you heard this song? I'm like, you guys, I've heard this song. This is when I was in high school. Yeah. They think they know everything. It's hilarious.
Oh, great.
It's that look of disdain that they give you. Like, oh my God, I got
disgusted.
I was listening to an epic Rihanna Eminem mix, and oh my God, they are amazing. And my kids are like, wow, it's classical music. I'm like, oh, don't even. They're not even 10. Mm-mm. And I'm getting sass at this level. Oh man.
I know. They really humble you. The kids humble you.
Like you wouldn't believe. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. But let's move away from
Cristina, you have girls. So that's like a whole nother humbling.
Sass and drama all day, every day.
Yes. I can't imagine.
Yes, it's great.
It's
equal parts terrifying and wonderful. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead,
if we moved from music into cocktails, Nicole, what would your signature cocktail look like? What would it be? What is it? And what are the ingredients, metaphorical or literal, that you'd include?
Yeah. So thinking about this, I'm not very creative, but I do think it's an espresso martini all day, every day.
Yes.
But an espresso martini with tequila, not vodka.
Oh.
I'm more of a tequila girl. So, there's a little spice in me. I'm Italian.
Spicy enough, as you said. Just
spicy enough. But definitely, like, I think espresso martini is more mature now. Like, was I espresso martini 10 years ago? No, it's probably a vodka soda girl, you know? But I feel like it's mature, it's bold, it's, you know, I definitely thrive and live on coffee, and that's like my jam lately. So I think that like is me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can totally see that for you. Yes.
Thank you. I kind of want one now, actually.
I mean,
Tuesday, you know, just a Tuesday. It's okay. It already
Tequila
feels like a Monday.
It's a Tequila Tuesday,
like
Nicole.
a Monday. Yes. There you go. Tequila Tuesday. That's my new thing, Jacqui. There it is.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. Like we said, we love authentic women. We love women that have a strong voice and that are really leading this industry forward. And you are absolutely one of them. So with every episode that we do of SHeCOMMERCE, we are building this network of female leaders and advocates. And we'd love for you to take that pledge with us to pay it forward, amplify women's voices, and help shape the future of commerce. So will you become part of our sisterhood?
I sure will. Thank you so much. And kudos to you guys. You're amazing women, amazing leaders, and you truly are representing females in the industry. So appreciate this as an avenue to spread the female empowerment and love along the way. So appreciate it so much.
Thank you. It's fun.
Thank you. It really is. This is so much fun to do. Especially yeah, and especially since we get to hang out and chat to such incredible women.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a great opportunity.
So is.
All
right, folks. You've heard it. We have the fabulous Nicole Lesinski with us. We've had the pledge. So now there's just time for me to say, bold brands, fierce women, one sisterhood.